In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the steps as to how you can absolutely smash your long run every single week. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Josh, a medical student studying in London and currently doing a sports and exercise medicine degree while trying to train full-time for triathlon. On this channel, we talk medical student life, triathlon training and time management for people with busy lives who still want to perform best in their current sport. Your weekly long run is so incredibly important, and if you mess it up, it can absolutely ruin the rest of your training. If you're not consistently doing a good quality long run, it can feel like you're not improving and that all this training you're doing is going to waste and all the time that you're putting in is going to waste, and there's so many better things you could be doing. If you mess up your long runs, it can have a massive negative impact in the rest of your training. If you're not improving as much as you would like and it feels like you're wasting your time, it could be because you're not getting the most out of your long runs. It's easy to find yourself injured more than anyone else you know, while running more than anyone else you know, and you'll also be struggling to finish the ends of races, whether those be running or triathlon events, confidently. And all of these problems can be attributed to messing up a long run, doing too much, doing too little, and not getting ready for it in the right way. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down how you can absolutely nail them every single week. And we're going to be splitting that into 3 parts. We're going to be looking at before, during, and after our long runs to make sure that we target all 3 of these areas to improve our weekly training. It's really important to be prepared for your long run before you head out the front door. Things like ensuring that you have eaten enough food, whether that be the breakfast of the morning you're going for the long run or the evening before if it's an especially long run. Making sure you're correctly fueled will allow you to fully use all of the energy that you've got in your body. It's also important to plan where you want to go. Find somewhere fun and use this long run as an opportunity to explore, find new places, and really rediscover why you love running in the first place, because I promise you there was a reason that you loved running before it became this thing that you have to do. And try and go with friends where possible, although that might not be a good idea while I'm filming this. In the future, when all of this coronavirus has kind of died down, think about going with friends so that you've got people to talk to, people to encourage you, and enjoy it a little bit more. Although, as a side note, be careful that when running with other people, they don't encourage you to run faster than what is a comfortable pace for your long run, as it's really easy for people to force them to go at an uncomfortable speed. And lastly, when it comes to nutrition, if you're going to be running for over 2 hours or you think there's going to be no chance of you getting any water on your run, think about bringing a running vest or a fanny pack or something that can hold water and a little bit of food so that you know that you're not going to be too dehydrated or too low on energy when it comes to the later parts of your run. Once you've headed out the front door, this is where the hard work really begins for our weekly long run. Thinking about how long you want to run is an incredibly important part. Although it's called a long run for a reason, you never want to make it too long, and I really wouldn't make it more than about 30% of your weekly volume. Otherwise the toll that repetitive stress of your feet hitting the ground will take too much out of your legs. It will really affect your next week's training, as you'll struggle to recover fully and you're significantly more likely to injure yourself. For Olympic distance, which is what I currently train for, I aim to run about between 16 and 18 kilometers on my weekend long runs. But sometimes I go for a little bit more if I'm really feeling it, as I am trying to do a few half marathons at the moment. But sometimes I do less and I give myself a break if I know that I've had a really heavy week of training. So having an idea of the range that you want to be running for and allowing yourself to slightly modify that depending on how you're feeling is really important. But make sure that you are over distancing the total run distance in your event, unless you're aiming for the Ironman distance, where that isn't necessarily a good idea to do every week. The intensity of your long run is really important, and it's actually really hard to kind of pick and stick to a correct intensity. It should be a similar effort to your easy runs. We're aiming to kind of be in the zone 2 conversational pace of our range, not going into zone 3 that much or even out of zone 3 at all. Although this might feel really easy to start, if you're pacing it correctly, by the end it should be a difficult pace to maintain, but not taking all of your energy and all of your ability to keep going. It should still be semi-comfortable by the end. And like I said, a conversational pace makes it really good to do with other people. As long as you keep up that conversation, you'll always be in roughly the correct pace range, unless one person in the group is really struggling. One of the most important things during your long run is just to make it fun. And we can do that, like I said, by thinking about the places that we want to go, by bringing other people and just enjoying it a little bit more. If you're by yourself, consider sticking headphones in, listening to a favourite podcast, a favourite audio book, or just some banging tunes that you absolutely love running to. Anything to lift your spirits will make a weekly long run even more enjoyable. I cannot describe to you the transformation that I've been through when I started off by hating running and hating my long run, and it was the worst thing I did every week, whereas now I cannot wait until the weekend rolls around, because I know that I'm going somewhere new, I'm finding new places, I'm listening to my favourite audiobooks at the moment. It just is a really, really great way to reinvigorate yourself and rediscover your love for running. And when you get back home, recovery should be in the forefront of your mind. Our long run is one of the things that's going to put the most direct stress on our body, and that's especially noticeable in our legs. To look after our whole body, making sure that we're eating and drinking almost as soon as we finish and return from our long run will help our body to start to rebuild any of the structures that we've damaged. So think about something relatively high in protein and drinking a decent amount of water to rehydrate yourself and allow those nutrients to start getting to your muscles and bones. To look after your legs more specifically, stretching and foam rolling are some of the best things you can do to help relieve any aches and pains and encourage regrowth and regeneration in your legs. It's easy to only work the areas that you feel good, but the most important areas to work in stretching and foam rolling are the ones that are really sore, because by being sore, it's clear that that's where they need the most attention. Personally, I really get tight hamstrings and tight quads, so this is something that I work on for 5 to 10 minutes each after every single long run, and it just helps so much. You stand up after foam rolling, your legs feel so much better, and you can start to get on with the rest of your day. But try not, where possible obviously, to put too much intensity in the rest of your day. For me, my long run is generally the only exercise that I do on that day, unless on occasion I'm doing a technique-based swim for only about 30 or 40 minutes in the pool. Personally, my favourite thing to do after my long run, having eaten and stretched, put my feet up, have a nap, or simply just watch some Netflix, something really resting to get yourself back from a real intense workout. And that's it. Think about getting ready for your long run in the correct way. Think about how long you want to run for, how fast or not fast you need to do it, and ensure that you're putting your recovery first and making sure it's something that you do immediately when you get back through the front door after your long run. By doing all of these things, you're going to find them more enjoyable, more successful. You're going to get faster and stronger, finishing races more confidently. I cannot tell you how much going from a bad long run to a good long run every week will absolutely transform your triathlon training. If you've enjoyed this video or found it helpful, then please consider subscribing. And on screen now, you're going to see a playlist of all my other running training videos with some more useful and helpful information.